Welcome to the very first episode of the Sun's Den podcast. We have absolutely no idea what this is going to lead to, what is going to unfold. All we know is that we wanted to do this for the last 5 years, and who better than to do this with our founder, the very magical, the very beautiful, the the nucleus of my life, Yogeshwari. Yogeshwari, welcome, and are we all set?
Yes, we are absolutely on set. Thank you for that setting high energy. And this podcast, yes, it's a dream for about 5 years. And finally, we are bringing it into reality. And this is going to be a complete roller coaster. We are going to share a lot of stuff that we are doing together, both be it the success that we are climbing and the struggles that we are facing, the challenges that we are going through. Everything will be discussed so that anyone who wants to replicate this, it is all they need to do is just follow what we are doing and you will be able to get there.
So we wanted to talk about mindset today, Yogeshwari, and the very first thing that comes in my mind is this is something that we've been planning to do for a long time. And I'm sure just like us, there are so many people in similar age group. Either they've just finished their college, they want to start their work, or they've been a couple of years in their workspace. They want to do something of their own, or they probably must have started, but at some point of time it just fizzles out. Burnout, time management, all these things comes into the picture. And it when we decode all those branches and we kind of trace it back, and it all comes down to the one thing, that is mindset. So the very first question that I always have for both of us is, why do you think it took us this long time for us to start? Why do we keep promising or committing and then not able to follow through? What is that real root cause that's really stopping us from really crushing it?
I would like to start with this why. These days, I'm so obsessed about finding that why behind everything. When we want to start with this why, first, let's ask ourselves when we wanted to do this podcast, why did we wanted to do this in the first place? I remember us having this conversation that we wanted to do this because we want to build something together. That is our first and the foremost reason of even thinking about this podcast. And later down the line, after doing a couple of episodes, we got caught into that syndrome of perfectionism, or looking at others, what the people in the market, people in the industry are doing, or should we also do that? Let's just take this thing. We wanted to, yes, we've been thinking about doing this for 5 years, and then last 3 days we were actively working on this to put it together. But it took us 3 days just to sit and record this. And right now, I recall us having this conversation. What how will we upload? Who will we upload? Do we need to edit? Do we need a thumbnail? Do we have to do all those aesthetic things? And then what will people would want to watch? What should be the topic? So many questions. And in the pile of these questions, that essence of that why gets buried deep, and we forget why did we even want to start in the first place. And that's why I just told you, listen, we'll get on Zoom, we'll speak, we'll post, done and dusted. Nothing else. Don't talk about anything else. And even to getting onto the Zoom and speaking, forget about the topic. Let's just start with what we are doing right now, currently, what we are facing. Isn't that the mindset that comes first? Because we have been gathering all the skill sets, we have been gathering all the resources. But this mindset has started becoming a huge roadblock for us because we started comparing ourselves to others. We started comparing ourselves to people who have been doing this for a decade. There are giants and legends out there in YouTube, in other platforms. And we started looking at them. Oh, they're doing that. We should also do that. But they're already 10 years into that field. They've grown. We are just starting. Why should a baby compare to a 10-year-old? And probably in our life, that's what we are doing to ourselves. we are rejecting ourselves even before others could reject us. You're not even giving them the chance to accept or reject. We'll only keep telling that how people don't want this, I'm not going to do this. So I would want to ask this one question to you, uh, Surya, that we've been trying to do a lot of things for really a long time. Let's take this one example, which is podcast. And this mindset has been a big block. Do you agree to this point that I shared just now, that we forget the very essence of the beginning, the intention that we wanted to start right at the beginning, and we get caught up into every other flashy syndrome that is out there?
So, I mean, even before I get into this point, of course, I definitely 110% agree. There are just these follow-up points also that was going on in my mind while I was listening to you. One very important element that comes in is we both, like both individual at an individual level, at a collective level, we are very, very attached to our parents. We are very, very attached to our family. We don't really have too many friends, but we end up speaking with our parents day in and day out. Now, they probably have their own set of relatives and everything, and they're obviously from a previous generation. Now, how do we really explain to them what is it that we do? How do we really explain that every single thing that we are doing matters? For them, it's like just sitting in front of a computer. What will we say to people? So even when we want to do a podcast, whenever we want to put out a video on YouTube, whenever we want to even discuss, like right now, even at a personal level as well, you and I have been connected at such a deep level, and yet to be able to disclose it out, right? Like as professional partners, as business partners and everything, there is always question marks that comes in. Now I completely get the idea that what will people say, but at the end of the day, it's not about the people anymore. It's about our own parents. And when you hear taunts, judgments, stuff, like you can take everything that the others are telling. But what do you do when your own parents are doubting you, questioning you, taunting you, just not really trusting you and supporting you? I mean, even if you don't want to support us, the best thing you can do is at least just give us that assurance, give us your blessing, give us that unconditional support. That's what we all need. Otherwise, it's a complete lone battle. Coming to the answer, it's I think that's where the mindset comes down to a halt. Every single thing that we have learned comes down to a halt. Because at the end of the day, whatever it is that we are trying to do, we want to do this for them, right? For our parents first. We want to give them the life that they dream of, they've never really experienced. We want to make sure that every single thing that we are doing, we want to show them that this kind of a life exists, the kind of people we are following. I'll tell you, it's so interesting. You know this more than anyone else. I'm completely anti-marriage. Now, the best example that my mom and dad will always give me is my uncle. Oh, he's not married, and see what's going on, what is his life and everything. Now, he's not giving me the example. They are not even considering the example of Suman brother, no, the ex-district youth coordinator, present convener of one of the summit. That he's my role model. Like, how can you live a life which is so perfect? Of course, it's not, no life is perfect. But again, the kind of mindset that he has, that I'm going to build something that is meaningful to me, and I'm not going to traverse into something that doesn't really make sense for me. So even before we get to start something, we are always already having such big roadblocks, which are completely holding us as shackles deep inside. Everything on the outside looks perfect. Like you mentioned, we have the skill, we have the skills, we have the resources, we have the tools, we have the network, we have the people, and yet we are not able to push through. And now the fact that we are doing this, I can't tell you how proud I am. So I definitely 110% agree. Having said that, I want your thoughts on these same concepts as well. When the people we love and care about the most, they hold us back, when they doubt us, they question us, it's very hard to explain it to anyone. And you get all these kind of gyan flying in, right? This person has done this, left home and did this. This person grew from business, just had 1,000 rupees in the bank account and grew multi-million and everything. But reality, when you face it yourself, how is it realistically possible to go about doing something that you're passionate about when all that you need to think about is when's the next meal going to come? What what are the basic funding that's going to be there in order to survive and sustain? All the more why we have jobs, right? We don't have jobs just to just because we want to work. We want that because it's our security, it's our stability. So I want your thoughts on this.
So I could feel a lot of emotions running through, and there are multiple layered questions. I would like to take one at a time. To start with, how would we face our loved ones, near and dear ones, if they don't understand? What do they do? Most of the journey, if you see, if a journey is extraordinary, hardly few people walk through that. And that is a major reason they don't know what is there in that. And when there is unknown, when there is uncertainty, obviously fear creeps in. Major reason, it's a biological process, chemical. You are the doctor, you know best. When there is uncertainty, immediately cortisol kicks in, it spikes up, threats, fear, anxiety. Oh, my son is going through this path. What's going to happen? Why is he not following the conventional path? They are into the fear zone. And people who are into that fear zone, they try to hold their loved ones back. They don't know whether it is good or bad. All they know is it's an unknown path, don't go. Strangers, don't talk. They've been told, and it's doctrinalized inside for ages. For us, we know because we have learned, we have trained, we have built our system like that. If we have to sit and if we have to try to explain it to them without results, not going to work. And that's why I was reminded of this Alex Hormozi's podcast. The other day I was listening and he says, I don't bind myself with these societal rules. There are no obligations, there are only consequences. Your aunt did this to you. She was so nice to you when you were young. You have to go and meet her. You have to do this. You have to listen to her. He says, I don't bind myself with all of those things. What I do right now will bring me consequences, will get me certain things few days, months, years later. So there are no social obligations. Anyone who is standing in front of me and my goal, I just put them away. I don't care. Now, that mindset, I know it is difficult, but if we want to give them that life that they deserve, we have to go through this. We don't have a choice. Explaining, we can try. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Let them think that we're just sitting in front of the computer. When the results come, I'm sure they'll try to understand at that time. Oh, probably he was doing something in front of the computer, not just sitting idle. That's why he was getting these results. But until then, it's a lone journey. Nobody is going to walk with us, not even our business partner, not even our life partner. We have our own struggles. That's what this journey is all about. And people who are watching this, who wants to take your dream big, it can be a bit scary because, again, to quote and unquote Alex Hormozi, he says that there is something called known pessimism. When you don't know what it takes, it all looks very beautiful outside, and you tell yourself, I'm going to get it no matter what. But when you jump into the well and you get to know how deep it is, now you are into that panic mode saying that, oh my God, it takes so much. I don't know how am I going to get out of it. That's known pessimism. We can't go back. We just have to swim through. That's what builds that grit, determination inside us. I mean, it's easy to give gyan. Going through, get a partner, please, business partner, friend who can just talk with you like this, like Surya and I we are doing, so that you feel at least you're not alone for a couple of few laps that you're taking. I constantly, what I do is again, this concept was ingrained inside me by Surya. Take a reference, keep listening to them to build your mindset the way their mindset is right now. so that you can reach that height with at least less pressure, less burden, less fear. You don't have to feel that you're doing it all alone. Nobody has ever done that. You don't have to feel. If you have a reference, if you follow that. Again, trying to convince people, will we succeed 100% all the time? There's no guarantee. We can try. If it is going to pull us down emotionally, physically, mentally, it's okay to let them be where they are. They will stay there. I can guarantee they will be there. Where you left them, they will be there. Move forward, achieve what you want to achieve. From the heights that you are in, they'll come to you. Do not stoop low for people who don't want to grow. You keep growing, let them climb up for you. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm not giving gyan to you, Surya, not to anyone who's listening. I'm just sharing what I keep telling myself to train my brain. Like, it's okay. It's okay to sacrifice a couple of things to achieve bigger things. Just a follow-up question with this is, do you think it is possible? I mean, I've been telling myself this every single day whenever I am in a state of low energy, not sure what's happening. I've been telling myself to keep myself in that state. Do you think it is possible for you or for anyone who is watching?
I mean, firstly, the insights that you shared, blown away. Of course, you did take a lot of references, but I always keep telling this to you every time you speak. There's magic in everything you do. And the insights that you share, it just hits the nail on the head. So it surely is possible. And it comes down to specific strategies. So I'll go back to my internship days. Those were days when I was seeing that in my college there are students who are so good even before a teacher is teaching something, they already know it, they already are answering back and stuff. And I was used to sit in the last bench. I used to think, what is wrong with me? What is wrong? Why am I not able to be like them? And the harder I try, the more difficult it gets. And that's when I realized, okay, fine, if I cannot be like them, I might as well be something that I truly want to be. And for me, that the first very step was to understand, how can I be good at one skill? And in this case, for me, it was languages. How can I speak fluently in English? How can I speak fluently in English, a language other than my mother tongue? So for that, I developed a set of practices. And again, you quoted Alex Hormozi, I'll quote Robin Sharma. Every change is hard at the beginning, messy in the middle, beautiful at the end. So for me, the practice was more about, how can I master that one skill and every single thing that I need to do in order to acquire that one skill. So first it was public speaking. Second, public speaking as in not really public speaking, rather communication. How can I communicate using a specific language in a way that people will understand? The second was, how can I be the most resourceful human being on the planet? You give me a problem, if I know how to solve it, I'll solve it. Otherwise, I'll find out who has solved it and I'll ensure that I learn from them and I share it with you. And that's how today we have these vault of courses and stuff that we, books and all those resources that we have at this. So coming down to the specific question, I personally feel, for me, it's not possible because I've tried. Again, as for Tony Robbins, you haven't tried everything, but after a certain point of time, you are absolutely spot on that we need to put a full stop and draw that line, draw that boundary. If you're not able to draw the boundary for the other person, you might as well do it for yourself. So I've drawn a boundary for all my relatives. I do not pick up any calls of my relatives, no matter how important it is, until unless it's something like a life-threatening situation. Same thing for my parents. Same thing for my office. But then when they're emotionally charging me, yes, I do become vulnerable. And that's why I choose not to go home as frequently as I would ideally want to be. I know that they're expecting certain amount of proof. Now, how do I really put that into practice is by, again, bringing back the same concepts of building habits and ensuring that I'm giving myself a deadline to practice those habits. So let's just say if there's this strangest secret in the world, we are listening to it. Can I listen to it for 90 days without fail? If I'm having my 20-20-20 formula of workout, journaling, and going through some form of learning, can I do it for the next 90 days? If I have decided that I'm going to put in 2 hours of my time, energy, and money on our business, I mean, of course, now we are going to be talking more about the cohort and all as well. So Are we able to really put in that time to create that content that reaches out to the right people? Are we doing that consistently? So that is the only secret ingredient that I personally feel that can make it possible. There are people who have taken, like you mentioned at the start, right? People have been in it for decades. We are in this day and age where I sincerely feel that we don't need decades anymore. We just need a couple of months of consistency. And if we do it right, then that itself turns out to be the decade that we're looking at. We have all the resources, tools, books. We can have the brightest minds train AI models on that, and we literally have that person, an AI version of it, literally in front of us. So it's all there. It's about right now micromanaging our time, micromanaging our habits. That's where it all begins with. Now, this is my follow up question to your question itself. We know that for some people it's possible, easier said than done. When you get to do it, you actually realize how difficult it is. Now, people talk about coaching, people talk about mentoring, but it's so difficult to actually explain it to someone what is the actual scenario and then ask for help. So, what do we do in that case? How do we even go about putting these little habits into perspective? Do we get our distractions away first, slowly and steadily? Do we take it one step at a time? How is it possible to achieve what takes, like you mentioned, a decade, if not achieve the same, but at least go a couple of steps forward to start seeing some results? Your thoughts? Yogeshwari, however beautiful and expressive you are, unfortunately, we were not able to hear you. And important for the listeners, this is what happens in a real virtual event. Take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, coming to habits, I was sharing that we need to understand that habits get built consciously and it moves into the unconscious pattern inside a human brain. Keeping that as the forefront. If you want to change the unconscious pattern, every unconscious pattern all at a sudden, it's going to completely mess with your brain and your day-to-day habit. Let's just say I'm telling you all this while you're doing everything from your dominant hand, start doing from your non-dominant hand, and then you've been talking in a certain language, start talking in a different language, and then I'm telling you all this while you've been probably driving in the left in India. If you are, I'm telling you, drive through the right, it's going to be a complete mess in your life. If I'm telling you, okay, all this while you've been walking into the bedroom and then continuously scrolling, and I'm telling you, you shouldn't be touching your phone at all, that's going to mess with your brain. Because constantly you will be thinking about what your, it's like a muscle memory, what your mind unconsciously, what your hands, what your auditory senses, what your visual senses, everything was got used into a certain pattern. And you're going to mess with that if you're going to change everything at once. And if you mess with that, it is going to mess with you. Simple as that. Now, there are two techniques. Number one, do not remove habits, just replace habits. All this while, if you are walking out of your bedroom with your phone scrolling, just you need to keep the place where you keep your phone, every single mobile phone, next to you, near your bed table, replace that mobile phone with a water bottle. Instead of scrolling the phone, sip a bottle of water, walk out. Create triggers for yourself. The immediate trigger as soon as you wake up is search for the phone, grab it. Instead of phone, if you get a bottle of water, grab it, drink. So likewise, if you create triggers one after the other and replace habits, unconsciously you will build a better habit. That's number one. Number two, doing all at once. Please don't try doing that. We've been trying to do all at once for last 5 years, and I'll tell you, it can be a joke right now that we've been talking ourselves to work out for last 5 years. And he keeps mocking at me saying that we go for a walk once a year and then we forget about it. The next year we'll be like, oh, I have to again go for a walk. And then again we do it couple of days, we forget about it. Please don't do that. Changing everything at once is not advisable. Pick one or two things per month and just consciously follow that. Now, if you do that, by the end of the year, you will be replacing 12 to 24 habits that doesn't empower you with 12 to 24 new habits that is going to make you a superhuman. That's the power of atomic habits. It's not about just transforming all at once right now, immediately, right now when we are speaking. That doesn't work. At least it didn't work for me. And getting into that cycle of negative loop, not waking up early, so I'm not going to do my workout. So I'm not going to eat healthy. So I'm not going to do the work that I'm supposed to do today. So the entire day is messed up. Instead, it's okay if you don't wake up early. Forgive yourself and just get to the next task. As simple as that. So with this, I believe the habits, it's not about changing everything once. It's about slowly transforming yourself one step at a time, like a baby does.
Okay, Yogeshwari was supposed to ask me a question, but she got caught up with the answers, and that's how it's supposed to be. These episodes are this. We want to make sure that we are documenting everything that we are doing, and at the same time, we want our future selves to look at these videos and be like, no, yeah, we did start pretty bad, but here we are. So, final thoughts. There's so many things that we want to do and so many things to build, and even the thought of starting creates so much overwhelm because that first step itself has so many baby steps, and when you venture into it, only then you realize how difficult things are. But on the other hand, it's easy to sit and chill on Netflix. It's easy to just play, was that Royal Match and Clash of Clans? It's easy to just keep scrolling on one, jump from one course to the other and all that. It's easy to keep blaming that the systems are not enough. Even if we create content, nothing is working. Something that I always keep doing. I mean, I keep poking Yogeshwari time and again. Why are you wasting so much time on LinkedIn? Nothing works. YouTube, no results, zero revenue, nothing at all. What is that strategic way to do it? What is the results that we need to keep in mind? Of course, you always keep telling, don't focus on the results, focus on the process. How to really fall in love with the process, how to make it as a part of our life, and how do we really, where do we go from here? I'm talking about the podcast also. You got 4 questions, less than 7 minutes. Take it away.
Absolutely, I'm not going to take all 4 questions right now because it's just 7 minutes. However, I would like to give a head start to listeners, viewers right now. The reason the very first episode we just worked on and we had this conversation about the mindset is all you need to do is forget about the strategy. Forget about how do I do this? How do I do that? Please start. Just start. Right now, this episode is going to be completely unedited, raw. I messed up a couple of times. I didn't unmute myself. I didn't ask him the question. It's absolutely okay. I want you to see the messy part that we have. We are not, I don't want to be a perfectionist here. I don't want to show only the glorious stuff. I want to be vulnerable here. And that's why you will be seeing all of those things. And it's absolutely okay for us because I want you to understand, all of you, to understand that all you need is to start. You want to do a podcast? Turn on the video, speak. Forget about your language, forget about your communication, forget about the topic, just speak. Something that we are doing right now. Strategies, I would like to take it up in the next episode, where how to break down and work on so that you can stay consistent. I think I have the rights to say this because I've been consistent on LinkedIn. I'm seeing certain results over there. I'm a little consistent on YouTube. I'm getting a lot of job opportunities. Don't you know that? Yeah. Okay. In fact, yeah, I would like to share this with you that just because I'm consistent on LinkedIn, I'm getting inquiries from people who wants to hire me. I'm not running behind a job. I'm not chasing behind jobs. And that's a secret that I just wanted to reveal. So strategies, we'll take it up in the next episode. Right now, watch this episode if you want one more time. Work on your mindset. Tell yourself all you need is that one tiny baby step. Start. Just push that start button. Go ahead and do it. Nothing else matters. Regarding how to work on the content, how to do the other things, everything we'll discuss in the subsequent episodes. And I'm sure you're going to go with us. You're going to grow with us as we grow. We don't want to do this alone. We want a lot of people with us in that pinnacle, because lonely journey is not so sweet. When we reach those heights, if we have friends and if we have family to celebrate, nothing better than that. What do you think, Surya? Your final words for this episode?
My God. I mean, the conversation that we had, we did have the similar kind of a conversation when we started talking the very first time with each other. And back then, I'll tell you, back then, I had a lot of hopes, a lot of fire in the belly, a lot of, yeah, I'm going to crush it kind of stuff. But now, 5 years down the line, honestly, there's a lot of overwhelm. There's a lot of fear. And along with that, that's one side of the picture. The other side of the picture is there's a lot of regret, there's a lot of guilt, and the fear of the regret and the guilt. Even when you talk about the baby step, let's just say day one, I did it. Day two, I did it. I feel very happy. But day three, for some reason, I don't. And then day four, I don't. And then day five, I do it. Again, another month goes by and I don't do it. Something hits up. Uh, Family members getting sick. We have to immediately go home, or something or the other keeps coming up, and everything goes for a toss. So it is scary. But then again, when you talk about the baby steps, how small can it be? Because at the end of the day, habits stacks up one after the other. When we wake up, we immediately want to brush. When we brush, the second thing we want to do is pee pee. When pee pee is done, we want to eat breakfast. Or again, there's a routine, which means whether we know it or not, we do have a habit, which means we have developed that muscle inside of us. It's just that we want to develop a new muscle. And is it possible? Can we do it? Baby step. If, even is that baby step also too simple, too difficult? I honestly have no idea. All I know is we've started this right now, and I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, hope and pray that we are able to continue this, and then see what unfolds. Big thank you once again, Yogeshwari, for initiating this. I know today also I was lazing around, but you you were able to convince us both to do this. And yeah, any parting words? Over to you.
The first thing is, I understand it is very scary. In fact, Surya makes it a lot more scary. Completely understand. If you feel that you are scared, but you have big dreams to achieve, here, this is unplanned. I'm going to invite you to our community. We have a community where we do this together. As Surya and I, we have partnered it to do this together. He has me, I have him. Whenever any one of us feel low, we have each other to pull. If you feel you need this, you need the mastermind, you need the community, you need the partner, and you don't have one, feel free to join us. The link is down, and make sure that we get started with our communication first, and then we get started with working on the dreams together. As I said, I don't want to be there alone when the success hits. I want to be with you. Are you ready to walk this hand in hand with me? That's it for the episode. Thank you so much. Until we meet you in the next episode, bye bye. Cheer up. Work on your mindset. The first baby step. First baby step. Push the start button. Get started. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.